first, I do want to bring up Arsenal continuing to keep pace with City. And it feels like Arsenal, still not getting the respect that they are this good. Some people are starting to talk about it now. There's 9 games left in the season. At some point, you got to say that you got to be as afraid of us as teams are, or you got to be as afraid of Arsenal as teams are afraid of City. No?
Yes.
Because we're putting it on these teams.
I think that some of us Schooners are also contributing a little bit because
we don't want to say the thing,
like kind of gripping tight quietly to our Arteta posters, being like, please just take us home to the promised land, because 2020 FA Cup was our last trophy, and then prior to that it was the Invincibles, and it is a little bit dare to dream, but at this point they are actually that good. It's just now getting through these matches, right? So the magic number for Arsenal right now, I think, is 95. 95 points, sealed and done deal.
I mean, we're at 72. So, I thought we'd be able to get to 100 this season. And obviously what you meant is
we have 9 matches to go.
The last time we won the Premier League was the Invincibles. Yes.
So 9 matches to go, win 8, obviously, of the 9, and it's a done deal lock.
Can we do that? Click on Arsenal here. I want to see what the rest of the schedule looks like. Because fixtures, and then look, Liverpool, a winnable match, right? We're away. It's Anfield. That's going to be tough. They don't win at home. I've said West Ham could be easy. Southampton should be easy. We never make it easy.
I think April 26th will be a definitive match.
Those 3 matches in 10 days, April 26th, April 29th, and May 7th. That's going to be. Did that get moved? No, that should be 10 days, right? I'm not going to do the math. I'm just not going to do it. City, away at City, home to Chelsea, away at Newcastle. That right there, that's got to be the season. But really, City gets a 6-point swing if they beat us there. Let's assume we win at Newcastle, we win at West Ham, and we win at Southampton. We're now at 75, 78. We're now at 81 points, right? Walking into City, assume City is again 8 points behind us or 6 points behind us.
Yep.
Right? No, they're 8. Sorry, they're 8 points behind us.
Yeah.
So they'd be at 74? They'd be at 74, we'd be at 81. No, they'd be at 75, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, dude. Math is not my thing.
Again, Alexis did not work in finance.
No. So if they win that game against us, we miss out on a potential 3 points. They gain 3 points. It's not necessarily a 6-point swing, but in the grand scheme of things, it is. Because now we have to keep pace with 5, which means that they are one more win, and then we lose away from making it a game thing. Which, if you look at the way this is lays out, can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see another match where we could potentially drop points outside of that 3-game window, right? Fan XY said math is hard.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do this on the fly.
You're like, I need a calculator.
Yeah,
I need
dude.
my
and
scientific
by the way, there's one in my
calculator.
pocket. There's one on this computer, and I just refuse to use it. If you look at that, right, Chelsea could be. We don't know who they're going to be, but it looks like that should be an easy game. It never is, but it should be. Newcastle, really tough. You saw that when they played United. It looks like if we're gonna drop a second or third match or drop points, I can't see it coming from Brighton. If we can squeak out of that 3-match run with 9 points, obviously is, I think, kind of crazy to ask. But if we walk out of there with 7 points, bro, they're not catching up to us.
Aspirationally, I'd like to see us win the rest of the season. But
sure.
I already had my heart broken for the last Man City match where I sat in like the 8th row. I could breathe in the grass.
Yeah.
And Arsenal lost. And I was like, this pains me. I flew all the way here for you to hurt me like this.
Yeah.
Just like a man.
And may I say, Arsenal's never lost while I've been in the stadium. But I guess, when you're Christine Cupo,
sometimes I think the universe just wants to humble me. It was like, hey, no, you don't get this yet. Fine, I guess. We'll wait till the end of the season. But
I thought that was gone because I was at the Bournemouth match. I was like, oh, man, they're going to lose a game. But then Reece Nelson was like, I got you, my G. I can't see them dropping points to Brighton. I can't see them dropping points. It would take a major injury for me to be worried about the Brighton, Nottingham Forest, or a Wolves match. This is starting to feel like after the City match.
I'm still not, again, like, obviously I am nervous because
we won't say
happen,
it until there is a parade.
But I mean, at that point I'll be losing my mind.
I'll be there.
Go. Like, that's what I said. I have friends that are going back in the beginning of May, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with just like work commitments. But
because May 28th,
I want to be there so badly that like maybe I just plop myself down and who knows, like have everybody sign NDAs and just give me all the alcohol. Let's party.
All I can say is there's a reason why tickets for that Wolves match at the end of the season right now are being listed secondhand for $28,000.
Yeah, and they're trying to like crack down on that, which
20,000
good for
euros,
them.
by the way.
Arsenal themselves have sent out a few different like memos that are like, no, like we're not doing this. We know the demand's really high. We're trying to actually like snip that so that it's not an option for people to do that. So let's see how well they actually reallocate those tickets.
I got a better idea. Arsenal, put them up on the block yourself. Make that money, yo. Get us another player. Bro, if there's...
Arsenal, send them to me.
If there's 60,000 millionaires who want to go to this game and pay $28K each...
Yeah.
Bro, I'll take that game day revenue.
Right?
Yeah. Bro, are you kidding me? I'll be an advocate for the club for one of those tickets. Bro, it could be. Pedro Navas said edging towards the title. We're getting there. Definitely a delayed gratification.
Point, like we might as well pitch to like Pornhub and be like, "Hey guys, we'll cover Arsenal if you. We'll make sure we work in every single terminology we can."
Yeah,
King
please.
culture.
Please.
You mentioned though, Alexis.
I just like seeing you score. You know what I mean? Bit of a cuck in that sense.
You mentioned, Alexis, just that it doesn't feel like Arsenal's getting as much respect. Do you think it's because the title race is so close? Like in the past few years, it's been, City is dominant. City's like way out and away. Or it's just City and Liverpool, they're dominant.
But there was a little bit thing there with City Liverpool, right? There was like the question of like, can Liverpool actually do it? Arsenal still getting can they actually hold off City as opposed to can City catch up to Arsenal? Which to me is a little bit of a sticking point. Even when they're talking about how great players are, it seems like in the last 2 weeks we're starting now, ever since the qualifiers for the Euros, now the conversation about Saka has switched to like, wow, he really is great. And look how good he is. As opposed to people like, look at how Arteta has made this guy play. And I like what Nick Red said. Nick Red said, great, now we've moved out of the Tottenham hate portion of each Monday's podcast. And now we're in the Arsenal love fest. Well, 2 different seasons, and also it feels like Arsenal doesn't really get that kind of love most places. I mean, now it's starting to really happen, right? You can talk about it. You're going to have to talk about Arsenal every week of the season, what's left, because they're going to continue to be a story, whether they win or lose, especially when you win in the same fashion. You see City win 4-1, and you think, whoa, they're making inroads, they're hot. Arsenal says, I could do the same damn thing. And those are those moments where I look at it and I go, the conversation still hasn't fully shifted to Arsenal being the top dog, quote unquote, and City now being the one that has to play catch up. It's starting to, but it hasn't really shifted yet.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that is just people have accepted City's dominance over the last few seasons, and they have been, right? I don't think we're seeing yet like the lack of competition where you just assume, one single team. It's not Bundesliga of past where it's like, oh, come on, like we're just watching this for funsies. We know who's going to win.
Have fun, but we all know who's finishing.
I think the Prem has always still been pretty competitive. I just think that we're seeing some of, Liverpool specifically have dropped more significantly than they have in the past. And City have been a little bit shakier, which that's good, right?
Yeah.
Like the competition is still as high as heck.
And part of me wants to believe that maybe the reason, and this is going to be a wild take, but maybe the reason City doesn't win the league this season is because, and I don't want to say it's because of Erling Haaland, but it's the difficulty in playing a system built around Erling Haaland. It hasn't taken as quickly. And I know if you look point for point, it's that Arsenal have been better than City was last season, this season. You know what I mean? They're pretty much on the same pace, if you will. But look how good City looked this weekend with Julian Alvarez in there, who can play that Jesus sort of style, that Gabriel Jesus style. And Erling Haaland, maybe it's just too difficult of a leap to suggest Pep can integrate him as quickly into the system.
I think it's a little bit of that, but I think that you have a player like Haaland who is that unique and special, right? It's hard, even if you're not intentionally shaping a squad around them, you still are, because you know what your teammates' strengths are, right? Like, you know how Haaland's going to be checking for you, how he likes balls to be delivered to him, where he's going to be looking for his teammates to be.
Right.
And when you have such a huge deviation when you don't have Haaland, all of the players that maybe are catering to him because that's the smartest move, which it's undeniable, right? They're rising to the occasion too. So you have
they
more,
gotta play now.
Right. Like, they now know, it's a very, like, why not me moment where it's like, I need to step up and I need to play like I play. And it's, you're going to deviate from the systems that you do play with Haaland. I think that it's just a matter of, you're not seeing that as evenly displayed because they more often can rely on Haaland, which is great because he's not even human.
The guy scores whenever he wants.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
When you have that, but like, again, it ends up being a little bit of a weakness in aspects too.
Cynthia Ohio says Alexis is ready for them Thierry digits, his true trophy. I don't know if you saw, but they asked him, did you guys exchange numbers when we did our last thing with them? And Thierry goes, no, we have not won the league together. You don't get to have my number yet. And I'm like, well, then it looks like I will.
That's the criteria? Okay.
So, look, if any Arsenal players are watching right now, there's a lot riding on this, okay? And I know your careers, your legacy, all that, blah, 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 blah. Really, most important is me getting to chat on a regular basis with Thierry Henry. Imagine Thierry sending me memes, just crushing a WhatsApp,
What kind of memes do you think Thierry Henry sends?
Probably all about him. Right? I feel like I was using another good one on it.
I feel like they're a little bit classier than the typical meme.
Right?
You know what I mean?
All the memes
Like,
have the pinkies
what
out.
if you put like bow ties on his memes?
Maybe they're
like,
in French or something.
Allez.
I have to pretend to laugh because I don't understand what it says.